Hi, I'm Jan Murphy from the Patriot News and PennLive, and I'm here at PennLive headquarters with Kristen Tullo. She is the Pennsylvania State Director of the Humane Society of the United States, and Kristen has with her a very special guest here. This is Libre.
Little Libre.
He's a famous dog, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Libre's story is of just the cruelty and neglect that he suffered, and that miraculous recovery is what led to our Act 10 of 2017, the largest animal cruelty overhaul in our state history.
Well, based on how Libre looks now, he looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He looks very good. Looks very healthy and happy and all that. And he's almost you said 2 years old now?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing great.
And so in his 2 years, you said he has a state law now named after him. So
He
Kristen,
sure does.
Tell us a little bit about that law and what it does. Let's kind of start off with how it relates to pets like Libre.
Oh yes, so Act 10 of 2017 was formerly known as House Bill 1238. And that was introduced by Representative Todd Stevens, and we incorporated Senator Richard Alloway's Libre's law, and we also incorporated Representative Ryan Bizarro's mandatory forfeiture, and we also had civil immunity for veterinarians and for Humane Society police officers. And this was the first significant strengthening of our cruelty laws in the last 30 years.
Well, just on that point, Governor Wolf just announced tell us about what he just announced with regard to our animal protection.
Yeah, and Governor Wolf, by signing this bill into law, really sends a strong message to Pennsylvanians that we don't support animal cruelty and that it is being taken seriously. And we are very excited to announce, and the governor did put this out the other day, that we improved our state rankings so much that we were actually the most improved state according to the Humane Society of the United States and Animal Legal Defense Fund.
Most improved state with regard to animal protection.
Exactly. So they look at state laws, and by enacting Act 10 of 2017, we actually jumped up significantly, and we're now considered in recognition of most improved state. I call it the MIS award.
And you said other states are actually looking at our law to see what parts they might want to take and copy there.
They absolutely are. There were 5 key components of the new law. We had the mandatory forfeiture piece, which requires that those who are convicted of animal abuse would be required to forfeit that animal to a shelter on felony convictions. And for summary and misdemeanor offenses, that's the discretion of the prosecution in the case. We also have situations with anti-tethering as the second, and we can talk more about that as well and what that law encompasses. And then, of course, Libre's law, which was the third component, and that is first offense felony for torture of an animal. So it increases penalties for heinous animal abuse. And that was actually really significant. We were one of only 3 states who did not have that law. So we really aligned with the rest of the country on that one. And again, sending that strong message that we don't tolerate animal cruelty in the Commonwealth. And then the best part of our cruelty code, it is no longer species specific. It's now act-based. So we have added protection for any animal. And then, of course, that civil immunity, making sure that those who are protecting our animals and reporting animal cruelty in good faith have protection in those situations of reporting.
And I think you said before that one of the most confusing parts of this law is the tethering requirement. So
yes.
Why don't you go through that and what is so confusing about it?
Yeah, sure. So this is also, I want to say, the first time that we've had a statewide tethering law. So with anything, it's going to take time to make sure that we are getting this exactly the way it should be working. But what we're doing right now on tethering is with the frigid temperatures at this point, there's a lot of calls coming into our law enforcement officers and humane and also our local and state police officers. They are responding to those calls. With the tethering law, it does require that you do not tether your animal in temperatures below 32 degrees for longer than 30 minutes. And I should clarify, you cannot tether your dog in those temperatures or above 90 degrees. So again,
it's 30 consecutive minutes?
Yes, so no longer than 30 minutes in temperatures below 32 degrees or above 90 degrees. And where I think some of the confusion that we could, for clarification purposes, could be brought up is that our first plan of action is to educate. We want to make sure that people who may have animals in those situations are understanding the new law, and we give them the opportunity to enact what they need to in their environment, to change the environment, to make sure that they are no longer tethering that dog for longer than 30 minutes in these temperatures.
And who enforces this law? Let's talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
Yeah, so,
Where are Libre?
oh, Libre, here you go. How about this?
It's destroying the
Libre,
toy, that's all right.
look here. Watch, this trick is great. Sit. Good, Libre. So,
Not even rehearsed.
I know, this is great. He's doing so good, our little bug-eyed miracle. So the enforcement of the cruelty code is any Humane Society police officers, and oftentimes we have those are humane officers that are with our animal shelters in the Commonwealth, but we also have local and state police who can enforce the cruelty laws as well.
Okay, all right. And how, you know, are there any cases of, I mean, is this law being put into effect as far as, you know, anybody getting in trouble and violating it, or has it strictly been about education at this point?
So our first step right now has definitely been education, and what is so cool about this is we just held our first of many law enforcement trainings that we are doing across the state, and that was in Beaver County in partnership with the District Attorney Association and also with the local Humane Society in Beaver County. And those were on, the training was on the new Act 10 of 2017 and also on animal cruelty and fighting investigations. And there was standing room only, so we knew that this was something that law enforcement and humane officers are really excited about, and learning how they can have the tools that they need to be successful in handling these cases.
So has anyone been charged yet or anything?
So not to date, but there are several cases across all over the state that are pending right now. So I do think that in the coming months, we're going to start seeing some of those cases come to fruition and bringing justice to the animals that have been in some of the situations that we've seen over the last couple of months.
Yeah. And is it, the cases that have happened, is it mostly about, I mean, is it mostly dogs that we're seeing that being the animal that's abused?
You know, actually, so I think with the tethering right now, we're definitely, the increased calls are coming in from dogs who are outside. And again, another clarification point that animals can still be outside. They just can't be tethered longer than 30 minutes in those temperatures. But as long as they have adequate shelter that allows them to maintain normal body temperature and allows them to keep the animal dry, then they are able to be outside. And of course that means that they have to have a water bowl that's heated so that the water doesn't freeze over, food, vet care, all of those requirements and stipulations amongst our cruelty laws. Hi, Lily. Lily, you're just a little star here. And as you can see, he is doing so well. I just, you know, his progress is just truly miraculous recovery. And that is what sparked that dialogue and called on our General Assembly to improve our cruelty and neglect laws. And we are just so excited to know that people connected with Libre and that he was that ambassador for hope for other animals out there who we wanted to make sure could have that happy of an ending.
And I guess we should give a shout out to Libre's owner.
Yes.
Janine Guido.
Yes, absolutely. And also the story of Libre. You know, it all started, Good Samaritan. Dexton was a produce delivery driver, and he decided to put into action by asking the farmer what was wrong with Libre. And I think it's one of the most powerful stories because Dexton said, the farmer said, I don't know, I'm not sure, he just won't eat. And Dexton said, well, can I take him? And then at the property, the man said, I don't know why would you want him? And Dexton said, because I think I can save him. So the story started there. And then he contacted Officer Jen Niels, who is a humane officer in Lancaster County, and she then sparked conversation with Janine, and between the two of them, they put into action by contacting Dillsburg Vet, where Dr. Pryor truly is who saved Libre. I mean, all of the entire story is just amazing to see all of the people in this journey and what they contributed to his success, and now a law to protect all of our animals in Pennsylvania.
That's quite a story.
Yeah.
That's quite a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, he certainly is a special dog. And because he's so special, PennLive decided to let Libre do a Super Bowl challenge and predict, you know, who's going to win the game. Is it going to be the Eagles or is it going to be the New England Patriots? And so check back on Monday, check back on PennLive, and you'll get to see that challenge and see who he picks.